Hello, welcome to Florence, welcome to Powersoft. My name is Mark Cox, I'm Business Development Manager of Powersoft, and today we'd like to show you something new, something we've been working on for a long time, and we're very excited to show you today. Without further ado, let's go to my colleague Leo, who will start the first part of the presentation.
Thanks, Mark. My name is Leonardo Weber. I'm a product manager with Powersoft, and I would like to thank you all for joining us here today. And you're probably wondering what we mean by this tagline that you've been seeing for the past few weeks, like clever interaction, lighter installations. Well, in summary, what we're bringing for you today is a clever and lighter solution for source and zone management in audio installations. So I would like you to picture it a little bit and try to imagine a system where the amplifiers have an embedded matrix and can handle all the audio routing, processing, and I/O. Then think of it as a distributed solution where all the amplifiers in this environment interact with each other. And then on top of that, you add cost-effective and easy-to-use control solutions, and you also let the amplifiers handle all the control processing. The result will be a lighter installation, less equipment being used, and faster project configuration. The thing on top of this is that you don't need to imagine it anymore, because this is exactly what we're bringing for you today. This new system approach that we are introducing today applies to all our products with onboard DSP. That is the 8 canali, 4 canali, 2 canali, the mezzo amplifiers, and also our T and X series. With these products and the control solutions that we will be showing you today, we're offering several different options for a full system control. So, for example, let's start with the simplest and quickest solution for source and zone control. Well, in this solution, we have one or more amplifiers, one or more passive controls, and in this configuration we can do level control per zones and select the sources playing in those zones, with all control and processing being handled by the amplifiers. Another simple and quick way to control your system is via a dedicated mobile app that we are introducing today. With this app we can control the system, but we can also deploy our projects from a mobile phone without the need to open Armonia. And finally, we are introducing the concept of web views. These are customizable user control interfaces that can be accessed from any web browser, and the good thing is that you don't need to have Armonia running for that.
Let's talk about all the savings we have and all the benefits this system has and I think we need to use an application example to really show what it can do. So with the system we can actually have numerous savings. Let's start with the first one. So space and cost saving, equipment saving. So with this system we actually eliminate the needs for any external matrix for many applications. The DSP becomes aware. So actually we have a decentralized system with no central audio processing needed. The other unique features are the amplifier becomes aware of any mono, stereo or multi-channel source, and actually also of zones. So we've introduced dynamic downter patching. So we can actually patch offline sources or online sources, only when they're needed. It actually replaces downter controller. We can do the selection of downter sources or any analog sources from low-cost passive role controllers, or from web views, or from the app. And then we have a fast to deploy system. Fast design and configuration of any installation projects and any user interface is really easy to do within the system. It's straightforward system control, and actually project scenes for quick system configurations are included into templates and into the system. So let's have a look at the example of a sports bar. So in this sports bar and lounge application, the system is divided in 5 zones with various music sources and paging. With the combination of dual canali mezzo, the analog inputs are converted to Dante and fed to all the other amplifiers. Analog wall controllers provide local volume control and source selections and scene selection for each of the zones or for the entire system, while Dante-enabled wall boxes allow for integration and can switch over from external audio sources to, for example, a Dante source, which is somewhere else in the building. Sources can be any device connected to an amplifier's analog, Dante or AES-free input. The advantages are they're easy to share on Dante. This doesn't apply to dual canali and quattro canali. We have individual EQ and gain for each of those sources. And they can be mono, stereo or multi-channel. And it's possible to create offline Dante sources, which we can allocate when we're programming, and when the system is deployed, we can make them work. We can have user-friendly names, which are very easy in use. So with this new approach, the system actually is aware and we can add sources. So we can control those sources as well. We have controls like gain, EQ, and mute available for any source that we are applying into the system. We can create a source, for example, a TV or satellite audio feed, analog stereo source, like a BGM player, or a Dante-enabled audio mixing console or a Dante microphone. We can add a combination of sources to a zone in combination with the loudspeakers which are part of this zone. The advantage of these systems are that we have individual EQ and gain for each of those zones. We can take mixed amplifier outputs and make them membership of one zone. And sources can be assigned to one or multiple zones. They can be mono, stereo, or multi-channel. So in the zone controls, we can control gain, EQ, and we can mute them. Meaning we can add and combine various inputs and speakers to a zone in our example. Scenes. They allow for a completely different system setting to be recalled on the fly. It can be recalled via a passive wall controller, via web views, or via app. This replaces in a much better way the project recall we had from the old operator view. And it integrates mezzo amplifiers. So again, let's go back to our sports bar and lounge example. And you see all the different zones, a stage area, 2 different bar areas, a lounge area, washrooms. And actually we can all connect them to the network and connect all the loudspeakers in this system. Now if we add some sources, we can actually have the TV satellite receiver, we can have the analog audio player or the BGM player, and we can have the digital audio mixer, which is actually connected on Dante and sends its signals to the system again. And this is all wired up into the network, of course. Now we can add all the controllers, like the volume control, the scene selector, and the source selector. And with this system, we actually have built something which is very easy to operate. It only takes those controls, it takes the amplifiers, and it takes the sources to be connected. And with this system, we rule out any kind of centralized equipment we need or centralized matrix. We can actually make it more simple by adding the web views and the apps. So with the web views and apps, we actually are able to create a web view app which is very easy to use for the operator, for the barman, for maybe the janitor into the building. They can just push the button that they need to push and there's no other information on the screen. And by designing those web views and app views, we can create a system which is very straightforward to use.
Now that Mark has shown you a few examples of how you can use the system, you're probably wondering how you can design and configure it. So we couldn't have left Armonia out of this formula, and this is why we're bringing an updated version of ArmoniaPlus. It's ArmoniaPlus 2.0, and one of the key updates to this version is that it now has a dedicated install skin that will allow you to create and configure your sources and zones. As part of this install skin, we're also introducing something called the Views Designer that allows you to create your own user control interfaces, including for mezzo amplifiers. Armonia will also allow you to do the configuration of passive controls and the mobile app. It provides full Dante integration and routing directly in Armonia, so that means you don't need to use Dante controller. And it allows you to do the management of mono, stereo, and multi-channel sources. And finally, on the graphics side, Armonia now has multiple workspaces that will allow you to display different rooms, parts of a building, or even rack rooms. Now that we've seen how we can design and configure our system, we need some controls for it. So we're now offering passive controllers that fit all global standard sizes and that can be used for source and scene selection and zone level control. We also have a dedicated app that can be downloaded directly from your app platform of choice between iOS and Android, and that can be used to control the entire system and also deploy a design created in Armonia onto the amplifiers. And we're offering the ability to create multiple web views that can be customized in Armonia and then used to control the entire system from a web browser in your tablet or mobile device.
So Leo showed you in this new system approach how you can really design a system and operate it from remote. Now let's see where we can apply it. This new system approach works well for all known and existing applications like venues, stadia, theaters, houses of worship, bars and restaurants. But there's more than this. This new system is the perfect fit for users and system integrators and consultants who work in other applications like corporate, conferencing, industrial applications, education, government, retail like shops or shopping malls. Especially for those applications where less amplifier power is needed, those systems require flexibility, reliability and scalability, and most of all, ease of operation. The new system ticks all those boxes for many small or large-scale applications, where now no centralized matrix control is needed. No need to run Dante controller on your computer. Simplified cable runs and power distribution will be effect of it. This offers a more competitive and effective solution. And just imagine, this is only the first step in offering a full system control by Powersoft.